Welcome back. In this video, I'm going to make this Banh Tet. This is one of the traditional foods that is eaten around the Tet time in Vietnam. This is my second year teaching at the American International School of Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh City, and the kids today made these traditional foods, and I'm going to make a video showing you how they did it. Now, as we get started with this, the way to make it is a little different in the real world. The kids had this rice that was already prepared for them, but in real life, you would soak the rice for one day, and it makes it kind of sticky, and you would put the beans or whatever else kind of food inside of it. So this is the rice that's been soaked with some black beans that has been soaked. Now, I have two banana leaves here. The shiny side is towards the outside and the dull side is in, and then again the dull side in and the shiny side up, and they're kind of cross grained, so the grains are running this way and the grains are running this way on the bottom one. Okay, then you kind of have to take your again, the kids used a little bag like this to spread over the top to keep it clean from their hands, even though they did wash their hands. But in the real world, obviously, you wouldn't probably be using a plastic bag. You might just be using your hands. And they kind of formed it into a longish patty shape. And so you kind of, what the Vietnamese teachers told me is you want to have it pretty thin. You want to have a nice kind of rectangular shape to it. All right. And have it almost like the bread. It's going to wrap around it, kind of like the tortilla of an enchilada or something like that. Okay, so it looks kind of like that. So it's nice and flat. And then they have these little teeny bananas here in Vietnam, and they said that you just take two of these. The kids actually just used one so that they were a little bit smaller, but the Vietnamese teachers told me that two is a better way to do it, and that I would cut it open and kind of cut the ends off. So these bananas are very sweet. They're not like the bananas you might find at the grocery store in America. They're sweet and very, very tasty. So they put one here, and then they said I should put a second one for the video. They're like, you should put two in, it'll look nicer. I said, all right, sure, sounds good. So they take these two bananas and set them inside like that. Now, a lot of other ones do use sometimes meat, like pork, I know is a very popular option. But anyways, then it goes like this, and they take it and kind of squished it up this way and closed it so that it looks kind of like this when you take it out, and the banana's kind of wrapped inside. Then they kind of rolled it a bit to make it nice and round. And I think my bananas are just a bit too long here, but there we go. So it's like that, and the rice kind of covers the banana all the way. And you can kind of see as I pull the bananas apart, it's really sticky. That's because the rice has been soaked overnight. Then kind of take these two and overlap it so that they're all the same at the end. And then you kind of scrunch it down so it's nice and tight, and you roll the banana leaf over like that. So you have a nice long, almost like tortilla, and you can kind of see the rice sticking out here at the top and the rice sticking at the bottom. Then what you do is you take the folded edge and making sure you keep the rice inside. You fold this one in with your thumb, fold the side over, and then fold the other side over like that. Now, they said that we were going to cheat a little bit and use a rubber band. They said traditionally they would use like a little piece of grass for this part, but since we're doing it with like first and second graders, that it was just much easier for them to use a rubber band. So you tie one in the middle to kind of keep the leaves from falling apart. Then you tie this piece like that, so it's overlapping. Then you have these other two smaller banana leaves, and you put the shiny side out and you kind of wrap one this way around it, and then you take the second one and you wrap it like crisscross over the top like that. Alright, then one more rubber band to kind of hold those in place. And again, they said they would use, like traditionally they would have used a little piece of grass. Okay, but so there's the one end. Then you do the other end. Kind of force this sticky rice inside so it's not sticking out. Then thumb over the top, fold the two sides in like that. One leaf goes over the top, and the other leaf over the top like that. Okay, then rubber band around it again. Alright, now what I'm going to do, one thing I noticed when the kids were making these is that when they tried the next step of tying it all up, their ends here weren't really flat. And that, I think, if I were teaching this to kids, that would be one thing I would say, is make sure that that's flat at the ends, so the next step is easier. Now I'm actually going to try to raise my camera up here just a hair so that you can see this. Now they said again, traditionally they would have used a piece of grass for this because it's you know what people had in the countryside. But again, doing it with kids in modern times, we're using a little piece of plastic. And you start at the top, and you want to leave yourself a little bit of extra string or reed, and you hold it here and twist it underneath the bottom. This is just like tying a Christmas package or any kind of other like gift box. You pull those two tight, and then you twist it 90 degrees, and then the long end is going to go underneath and around one more time. And I'm just going to tighten it by pulling it like that, and then twist it again. I'm actually going to twist it twice just to make sure it's nice, so it's at 180 degrees. And then you take this extra long end here and you just kind of hold it along one edge, and the other one, the super long one here, I'm going to bring about a third of the way down, pinch it with my thumb, and wrap it underneath until it comes back around like that. Alright, then I'm going to tuck it underneath this piece until it comes up. Now those two are going to be kind of twisted together like that, and if I twist it and kind of just gently pull it and pull down, it kind of gets locked together. You can see that there. Then I'm going to go another third of the way down, twist it around the back, up underneath, pull it so it's nice and tight, come down, and then twist it around one more time underneath, and pull it down again. So there it's all kind of rolled together in a log. Now this string was actually unfortunately cut a little bit too short. This one was made for the kids who were making ones that were much shorter, but normally you would take this and then tie it underneath and make a big loop so that you could steam it. So I'm just going to, instead of that, I'm just going to like do the first step of it here, which was to stick it underneath this crisscross like so. And then what you would have done is made this into a slip knot and then tied it one more time. But unfortunately my string is just too short. So without that one knot, it doesn't quite look right. It's pretty close. But so here you can kind of see the size that one of my kids made, and this is the like more traditional size. It's much larger and longer because it has the 2 bananas in it rather than just the one. So that is how you make a traditional Banh Tet, which is one of the traditional foods that Vietnamese people eat during the Tet holidays.